What's going on, HBCU family? It is Wednesday, November 20th, and you are locked into a brand new episode of In the Quad with Nick Eden. I am your gracious host, Nick Eden, and we are back with another show. Y'all, I almost did not do a show today. I almost did a replay today. For a couple of reasons, health related. I'll talk about it later because I think it's important to speak about. But just know this, man. I'm out here giving y'all the best I got. I'm absolutely giving y'all the best I got. But I am so ecstatic. You know, this has been a phenomenal week. You all have been tuning in faithfully. I appreciate you. I really appreciate how the chat has been jumping on YouTube lately. Y'all, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, head on over right here to HBCU Plus on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. Like now, obviously, I want y'all to watch. I want y'all to download the HBCU Plus app. But I also know that a lot of y'all are saying, hey, we like to go back and watch the show. We like the full replays. And that's just not a function that's on the app as we speak. But this is why we're streaming also on Twitter/X and on YouTube. So I did talk about it before. We have some exclusive content that's going to be coming up, including one that I started working on last night. I was like, man, this could be huge. I mean, huge. So make sure that you not only download the HBCU Plus app for free, also download the Urban Edge Network app as well. There's going to be stuff that's coming there that is going to be completely separate of HBCU Plus, but it's still a lot of great things, a lot of HBCU coverage. Obviously, the things that we have going on with the NBA G League, things we got going on with the NAIA, all the championship games are going to be there. And it's all in preparation. I want you to get all the free stuff to see the stuff when next month hits and everything starts going on DirecTV. Not all of it. You know, this show will still be here, but I'll also be on DirecTV. I don't want y'all being like, dang, Nick, you know, I don't have DirecTV. I was watching you on download the app. Anyway. But thank you all for tuning in today. For those who are tuning into the show for the first time, In the Quad with Nick Eden is a show that breaks down all of the HBCU trending topics across the entire HBCU landscape. That's Twitter/X fan base, IG, Facebook, Snapchat, Fizz, TikTok, Gmail, snail mail. You talk about it, we're talking about it. And we break this down into two parts of the show. The first part of the show is our main topics, where those trending topics are condensed down to 4 main trending topics. That's the first part of the show. The second part of the show, which is my absolute favorite, is the fam topics. And those are the questions and comments that you, the viewer, have submitted to the show. And if you would like to get your questions or comments onto fam topics, it's really simple. Just head over to my socials, right there. At Nick Eden on Twitter/X, at Nick Eden on Linktree. Click the link in the bio. And if it is appropriate, I will read it. And if it's not appropriate, I don't know. I think one day I'm going to do like a HBCU After Dark show and then just like blast all these out-of-pocket ones y'all got. But I think we'll see about that. We'll see. Because again, some of y'all are out of pocket. And it's usually the fellas. I can always tell. The ladies are never really out of pocket. It's the fellas. Y'all are always out of pocket. Stop trying to find out if I'm sleeping with anybody in this space. Y'all are crazy. Y'all really are. It went from talking about crushes to just straight up, man, who you smashing? Dude, seriously? Chill out. Anyway, so let's get into our first main topic. And our first main topic comes to us from our friends over at HBCU Game Day. And that is, hey, all records are meant to be broken. Shannon Sharpe salutes HBCU receiver who broke his record. Again, this comes to us from HBCU Game Day. On a recent episode of Nightcap, Shannon Sharpe took a moment to honor Savannah State wide receiver Deshaun Mitchell for breaking a record held by the HBCU legend and Hall of Famer over 3 decades. Sharpe, alongside co-host Chad Ochocinco, reflected on Mitchell's performance in Savannah State's season finale against Benedict College. Despite the Tigers' 35-27 loss, Mitchell's 227-yard game Mitchell's 227-yard game on 12 catches shattered Sharpe's record of 221 yards set back in 1989. Deshaun Mitchell had a hell of a game. Sharpe began 12 catches, 227 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Why is that important? The 227 yards in a single game is a record set the record by a Savannah State receiver, breaking the record held by Shannon Sharpe of 7 catches, 221 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Ocho Cinco kind of played with him a little bit. He was like, look, you got to go get it back. But Sharpe laughed, and he got reflective. He said, no, I'm glad. Hopefully I inspired him. When I was there, I didn't have anybody to look up to. There weren't many numbers to chase. I just wanted to set the bar, and after 35 years, he broke it. Salute the young bull. He also highlighted Mitchell's recognition as a first-team all-conference player, further praising his contributions. When a Savannah State Tiger does something great, especially as a receiver, I'm proud. That's what we do. Mitchell's record-breaking performance was a bright spot on Savannah State's roller coaster season. Y'all, look. Why is everybody texting me when y'all know I'm doing a show? If y'all want to read the full article, please head on over to hbcugameday.com. And this echoes one of the reasons that I'm always talking about how sometimes as alums, we get in a bubble of our school, our conference, our rivalries, right? But then we'll say, oh, I'm a football lover, right? Or I'm a basketball lover, or a volleyball, or baseball, or softball, or whatever sport is your choice. But I'm telling you, the stuff that's going on in Division II HBCU football is ridiculous right now. Like they're putting on clinics, and they're putting them on. I'm just gonna put this daggone thing on on Do Not Disturb. They're putting on clinics right now, and it's amazing to watch. So, and again, and I'm going to say this every single time. Shout out to D2 HBCU football guy on X/Twitter, because when nobody else was covering D2 stuff, he was the one doing it. And then shout out to Stephen Gaither and Chris for doing the D2 football show on HBCU Game Day. Look, I'm telling you, like, if for me, last football season was my reintroduction to the MEAC at large, because I've always followed the MEAC, but not as closely as I did last year when I started the calendar. This year, it's been D2. And it's reignited my love for Clark Atlanta. It's given me a CIAA team in Winston-Salem. And especially, and I always include them, even though they're NAIA, it's made me pay serious attention to not only the football team at Florida Memorial, but the band and the institution overall, and how amazing they're doing right now in their quest for, prominence in this HBCU space. So big shout out to them. Shout out to Deshaun Mitchell for breaking Shannon Sharpe's record. Shout out to Shannon Sharpe for highlighting it. And I think it's important, y'all. I can't stress to you enough how important this is, that we are actually out here and we're highlighting what's going on, and we're really showcasing these young talents. All right. But I would like to know what you think about it. So head on over Twitter/X at Nick Eden, or IG, or Fanbase, all at Nick Eden. And I'll talk about Fanbase in just a little bit. Click the don't even click the link tree. Just at me. Tell me what you think. All right, y'all. Let's go on to our second main topic. We're going to stay right over here at HBCU Game Day. First and foremost, this thumbnail is diabolical. This thumbnail is absolutely diabolical. But this comes to us from HBCU Game Day. MEAC releases statement on NCCU Howard post-game altercation. The MEAC is conducting a comprehensive review of the post-game altercation that occurred following the Howard versus Central football game on Friday, November 15th. This is an update. So I talked about this. No, because this is going to lead into my other story. But I do have an update to this. But The game ended in a decisive 26-3 win for North Carolina Central, but shortly after NCCU head coach Trey Oliver and HU head coach Larry Scott shook hands, things descended into chaos with pushing, shoving, and punching between players and coaches as well. The action went on for well over 5 minutes before the two teams separated and moved towards their locker room. A few minutes later, things began to bubble up in the parking lot near the visitor. I didn't even know about this. Began to bubble up in the visitor locker room with multiple sources indicating North Carolina Central assistant coaches were involved in another altercation. Now, they asked Trey Oliver, head coach Trey Oliver, okay, Steve, I thought I was, you know what? I knew. All right, let me put this up because I actually covered this one. That's why I knew, like, I think I still had it in queue. Hold on, y'all. I want to find, and let me go back to my, yeah. I knew I wasn't going crazy, but, and I know exactly how to get to it. But you're right, Stephen. That was the one from Saturday, and I actually covered that Monday. And I knew, I was like, yo, there's a follow-up to it. So if anybody's ever wondering about my process while I'm pulling this up, generally what I will do is I scour the internet for all the trending topics. A lot of times, thanks to platforms like HBCU Game Day, a lot of the stuff is already it's already there for me. So there was an update to this story. And like I said, I covered it Monday. And that's what it was. Because I was like, that thumbnail is diabolical. But then I realized that it changed. So here we go. Now the update is there's a Celebration Bowl update that I am going to cover. In fairness, I'm covering it from HBCU Pulse. Because as y'all all know, I try to make sure that I absolutely will go through and give props to all of the Black media sites and outlets out there. But essentially, so this is what ended up happening, y'all. Because of course my phone is taking forever. There were 3 dozen suspended from this. And remember, we talked about it on there we go. We talked about the fact that Howard had, well, I want to say Howard had 17 that were suspended, and then Central had 19, or it may have been, the other way around. But it was a situation where now they've added the HU assistant to it. So I'm going to pull the full thing up, but let me just go ahead and say this real quick so that we're clear on this. This is what I meant when I talked the other day about how the look for us is going to be different. It's going to be different than it is if this happens at Ohio or Clemson or Alabama, Texas, Georgia. There's going to be an extra level of scrutiny that comes down on HBCUs because of this. And we can say, oh, well, we do that to ourselves. That's self-inflicted. It does not matter. It does not matter. I promise you it doesn't matter. Because at the end of it, people are still going to look and they're going to say, this is why we don't give them money. This is why we don't, this is why we don't want to do any business with them. This is why we don't want to sponsor them. But I mean, come on, y'all. 30 people suspended. And for what? And what I will do is, Stephen, I appreciate you. I'm actually going to, you guys, please head on over and check out the story on HBCU Game Day. But this is something that, again, this has implications that affect us in future games. Because now, when we get back from the commercial break, I'm going to bring up that HBCU Pulse story. I'm going to tell you the type of implications that it has for the Celebration Bowl. And what this looks like when people are like, this is why you don't give them anything. They don't know how to act. And yes, before anybody comes in the comments and says it, yes, absolutely, absolutely. Those other teams at Ohio and Eastern Michigan and all of them, yeah, they got majority black teams, sure. They still do not give them the same look that they give us, which is why we have to be careful. We're thinking about these young men's careers post this season. We're thinking about our conference post this season. So, and I could go off on, I could do a whole hour show on that, but we are going to take our first commercial break. When we get back, Stephen, hang on a little bit because I want to talk to you. One of these days, I'm going to bring one of these folks up just to hop in on the show. But we'll be right back as we take this first commercial break. It's In the Quad with Nick E.
Technology lets you monitor your pet when you're not at home. But to monitor threats to your hybrid workforce wherever they are, you need more than technology. You need CDW, who gets to know your business and can design and deploy custom solutions with pre-configured HP notebooks with HP Wolf Security. AI-enabled threat detection and remote management protect your endpoints 24/7, giving your defenses some real teeth.
Bummer.
HP makes always-on remote security possible. CDW makes it powerful.
This is not just delivery. This is knowing even superheroes can use a sidekick. Walgreens.
When I push, I feel good. Push, 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 push. When I push, I feel good. When I pull, I feel good.
Is that your new Nissan Rogue?
Yeah, crazy story. So this morning, I'm at the Nissan Thrill of Summer sales event, taking a test drive. When Dave, the sales guy, is like, you're gonna love this. He shows me the best-in-class fuel economy and lets me know it's recommended by Consumer Reports. When Dave says, these cars are going fast, I knew I had to have that Rogue.
Nissan offers 6 vehicles starting under $30,000, like Rogue, with 2.9% financing for 60 months.
No charger?
It's a Mac. The battery lasts all day. See you next week.
Welcome back to In the Quad with Nick Eden. Y'all, we are right in the middle of our trending topics, our main topics for the day. Y'all, I'm kind of all over the place. That threw me off a little bit. I don't know why. For whatever reason, Stephen, that story wouldn't pull up for me, but I know it's there because I saw it earlier. That's just, hey, it's live. It happens. Y'all know what this is. I don't give y'all I've told y'all before, I'm not giving y'all just some cookie cutter, pre-done anything. No, look, the mistakes y'all saw a couple days ago, I couldn't get any of the things to pop up, but they wouldn't pop up on my side, but they would on y'all. I tell you, it's Black Show on TV right now. Welcome back to In the Quad with Nick Eden. Right now, we're in the middle of our main topics. And our third main topic, this is kind of stemming not only from what happened at the MEAC, what happened in the CIAA, and what happened in the SWAC. And this comes to us from Clutch Points, HBCU Pulse. Shout out to Randall and the good folks over there. HBCU football brawls lead to huge Celebration Bowl change. Tensions at the season end led to physical altercations among several HBCUs, prompting a rule change for the 2024 Cricket Celebration Bowl. As the Celebration Bowl approaches, multiple post-game brawls by HBCU teams have spurred a significant rule change that will impact post-game proceedings. Per a report by HBCU Game Day, shout out to them. Hey, look, let me say this real quick. Listen, I watched yesterday Roland Martin do this masterclass on political bias, which for me as a person in Black media and also a person in politics, it truly impacted me. But I love when, as an HBCU media community, we give each other props. Even though we're on separate platforms, We're all looking for your eyes. We're all trying to get that mental real estate. I love when we shout each other out because, I mean, it's still a very small knit circle for us, particularly in HBCU media. So shout out to them. So per a report by HBCU Game Day, Celebration Bowl Executive Director John T. Grant announced that the losing team will now head directly to the locker room after the game, while the winning team will remain on the field to celebrate. Opposing coaches will have the opportunity to shake hands in the interim. The move comes after several post-game brawls occurred during recent HBCU matchups between teams from the SWAC, MEAC, and the CIAA. Incidents included altercations following the games between Prairie View A&M and Florida A&M, Jackson State and Alabama State, North Carolina Central and Howard. As a result, fines of $25,000 were imposed on the involved schools, and 16 players were suspended from the Alabama State-Jackson State game. SWAC Commissioner Charles McClellan stressed the importance of sportsmanship, saying the conference maintains a zero-tolerance policy for unsportsmanlike conduct. Hey, y'all, real quick. Now, I'm not being funny when I say this, and I've met Dr. McClellan in person several times. You can't miss this brother. Dude is like 6'2", 6'3". He's the color of the shirt, the letters on my shirt. And you cannot miss. He was standing on the sideline. I forgot. I want to say it was either Dre or Jay that caught the video, that posted it. He's standing on the sideline looking at this go down. Y'all know the SWAC commissioner is going to be there. Why on God's green earth? Listen, I know he was just sitting there like, you and you and you. And he was just, man, you can't miss this brother. You cannot miss this brother. He's generally the tallest person around. And again, he's the color of my letters on my shirt. Y'all can't miss this brother. But anyway, acts of unsportsmanlike conduct have no place in intercollegiate athletics or the SWAC, McClellan said. We will continue to enforce this policy to uphold the high standard of sportsmanship we expect. I will say this, and I talked about it, that Dr. Cable went a step further, and he suspended 3 of those players till the end of the season. Y'all, I can't stress it enough, because now we see implications. The biggest game of the year, now y'all got to get rushed off at the end of the game. Whoever loses, whether it's Central, Southern, or Jackson State, is going to get rushed off at the end of the game. Get in line, hold hands like you're going to lunch for little petty stuff like this. And again, all the teams involved are at fault. Every single one of them. So, again, I stress to y'all, the look is different. The look is different. While I don't think that something like that would happen at the Celebration Bowl, I also think it depends on the matchup. I told y'all back in October that I felt like, and I said Central, but it's South Carolina State. My bad. I told y'all that right now. I told y'all right now that I think it was back in October. I said right now the SWAC is looking like JSU or FAMU. Now we know, at least on the SWAC East side, it's JSU. Depending on the outcome of the game with Southern, if JSU goes back, they're going to be facing South Carolina State. And I said in that show, if it's South Carolina State or if it's North Carolina Central, Jackson State is going to be looking at some get back from the Celebration Bowl a couple of years ago. So I can understand why people would think that, hey, it might be elevated. I don't think that to be the case. But unfortunately, you just can't tell. And Sonic Boom C98, I hear you, but guess what? Jackson State was just as much as fault as it, and y'all can act like they weren't, but they were. They were, and I'm sorry. Anybody who's got a problem with that, look, again, I've been living in SWAC life for 26 years, and I can guarantee you, they were just as much as fault. That it is what it is, and that's why people were suspended. So I don't even want to keep going into who thought everybody was wrong. If that's what y'all come here to do, I'm here to tell you now. Everybody was wrong, and I'm not changing my position on that, period. So y'all don't have to let that go. Everybody was wrong. Everybody got punishment. They should have gotten a punishment, and hopefully we can move on for this. I hope that this is not a bad look for us going forward at the Celebration Bowl when it's such a big game. All right. And our last main topic. I'm not talking about it anymore. Move on. Our last main topic of the day, and some sad news, very sad news. Southern University and Chicago Bulls legend Bob Love passes away at 81. This comes to us via HBCU Buzz. The Chicago Bulls are mourning the loss of one of their cherished figures. Bob Love passed away on Monday in Chicago at the age of 81 after a long journey with cancer. Love was known for his exceptional skills on the basketball court and his deep commitment to community service. His legacy resonates in sports history and the lives he touched throughout his career. Love is a proud alumnus of Southern University, where he scored a staggering 30 points and 18 rebounds per game as a senior. He enjoyed a remarkable 9-season tenure with the Chicago Bulls, during which he became a 3-time NBA All-Star. And in recognition of his contributions, Love's number 10 jersey is proudly displayed in the rafters of the United Centers, a lasting tribute to his impact in the sport that he loved and played so very well. And again, he had an impact not only at the Bulls, but at Southern University. Someone who, both sides of my family from Louisiana. I was born in Louisiana. You heard a lot about Bob Love, especially as a kid. And a lot of people, they were like, look, that's the standard. So prayers go out to families. One, Bob Love's family, the families at Southern University, and the Chicago Bulls franchise. Listen, y'all, love your people while they're here. Give them their flowers while they're here. I would have loved to see a dedication. I'm pretty sure we will. I think one of these days, our SWAC basketball tournament, I think can be. Listen, when it comes to basketball tournaments and HBCU football, CIAA is here, and everybody else is like right here. I would love to see it build up more, and I would definitely love to see a tribute to him. And Bob Love, rest in peace. Thank you for your contributions, not only to the HBCU community but to the Black community overall. And like I said, I didn't want to just leave it on a sour note, but we do want to give respect where it's due on that. Y'all, we're gonna take our second commercial break. When we come back, it is time for my favorite part of the show, which is our fam topics. And I see the questions coming in now. I'm not reading anything new right now, so those will be read tomorrow. But if you'd like to get your fam topics in, talk to you about that in just a second. It's In the Quad with Nick Eden.
When I push, when I push, I feel good. When I pull, I feel good.
This is not just delivery. This is knowing even superheroes can use a sidekick. Walgreens.
From now on, it's all about us. Starting a family, buying a car, our first home.
They told you to open an account, then turned you away. They said, come back when you're ready. You said, we're ready now.
I know we're going to make it.
Hope makes it happen. Thousands of your neighbors, many who never had a bank account before, improved their lives with Hope Credit Union. You can too. Brighter futures begin with hope.
Is that your new Nissan Rogue?
Yeah, crazy story. So this morning, I'm at the Nissan Thrill of Summer sales event, taking a test drive. When Dave, the sales guy, is like, you're gonna love this. He shows me the best-in-class fuel economy and lets me know it's recommended by Consumer Reports. When Dave says, these cars are going fast, I knew I had to have that Rogue.
Nissan offers 6 vehicles starting under $30,000, like Rogue with 2.9% financing for 60 months.
Amazon fall favorites are here. Save on fashion, home, beauty, and more. Shop Amazon fall favorites now.
Welcome back to In the Quad with Nick Eden. It is 33 past the hour. We are now on a portion of the show which is my absolute favorite, and that is our fam topics. Now, someone would ask, hey, Nick, how do I get my questions or comments on fam topics? Really simple. All you got to do is head over to my socials, at Nick Eden on Twitter, at Nick Eden on Fanbase, at Nick Eden on Instagram. Click the link tree in the bio and submit your questions. They are anonymous. In fairness, if your question or comment is appropriate, we will read them. If it's not appropriate, it's not even going to get to me, because the person that you got to get past first, bang, Uncle Samson. Uncle Samson is not playing with y'all. Uncle Samson is like, look, if these questions are not appropriate, we're not getting into this. So yeah, you got to go through Uncle Samson. Sorry, that's not on me. That's on him. I just do what he tells me to do. It is what it is. And let me go ahead and say, yesterday, the questions were big as hell. The questions were big as hell. So we got it together today. So let's go ahead and get into our first topic. If it'll show up, is it showing up on y'all end? This is killing me. When I tell you this is absolutely killing me. I cannot see it on my end. So let's see. And let me go ahead and say this while I'm waiting on it to pop up on my end. If Scotty does another daggone show while I'm doing my show. Anyway, okay. Man, you got to start putting the calendar on IG. You clearly missed the show yesterday. Because the calendar may not exist after the Celebration Bowl. I ain't gonna hold you. I still haven't figured that part out. I'm trying to get my life together here. And unfortunately, the calendar may be the unfortunate byproduct of all the other stuff that's coming up. I do agree, however, that is going to change some of the content of the calendar, because generally the calendar has been about HBCU Twitter weekly. So the things that have been trending in Twitter. And that's why there was always a separation between In the Quad and HBCU Twitter weekly. So what that would mean, and don't get me wrong, I do think that it could definitely go on IG. I will say I'm starting to put more concentration in the fan base and growing my presence on that app. So it will probably go on fan base before it went on IG. But we'll see. We'll see. Again, I don't know if it's going to exist in 2025. So we'll see. But I appreciate, I appreciate it. What happened to your show about a different world? Okay, that's another one. You're definitely not coming from Twitter. You're definitely coming from Instagram. So I appreciate all my IG followers for checking in with me. So, okay. In May, I was supposed to debut a new podcast called ADW Rewind, where basically, and this was kind of leading up to this A Different World reboot that is reportedly coming to Netflix. For people who follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, y'all know this story. My Twitter folks may not. So before the calendar went viral, that wasn't the first thing that I had go viral in 2023. Okay. First thing that I had go viral, well, it was three things that went viral before the calendar. The first I used AI to do kind of this imagining of music Greeks and what they look like throughout history. So Phi Mu Alpha, Sigma Alpha Iota, Kappa Kappa Psi, Tau Beta Sigma, which we affectionately call the Fab Four. So that went viral first, and that went viral on Facebook. Then I did the SWAC Reimagined, which went viral on Facebook as well. Some of my FAMU folks are still giving me hell because AI turned the FAMU Rattler into the Geico Lizard. that was I think probably tomorrow I'm gonna go and dig those up, and I'm gonna post them. I'm gonna put them on the show and let y'all see what I mean by that. So that was the second thing that went viral. But the third thing that went like through the roof was I did essentially like a plot of what a different world would look like if they rebooted the show today using some of the original characters and what the new characters were like, which is why I'm watching closely Netflix. If any of my shit comes up on the Different Worlds reboot on Netflix, I'm coming for you because it went. I got all the timestamps, but that's beside the point. So that it did okay. It did really well on Facebook, but I mean, it blew up on TikTok. It completely blew up on TikTok. Like it was not even close. Just to engage it, like it's still. I still probably average about 10, 20 followers. This has been a year ago. 10, 20 followers a day specifically for that video. So I got the crazy idea in my mind that, I look at things like Harry Potter, Charmed, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, all these cult classic things, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, these cult classic shows that still to this day are, they tour everywhere, they go through, they have different. Charmed still has a magazine that comes out. That's crazy. Like Charm's been out for 20 years and it has a magazine that comes out. Incredible. But I'm like, it's really the same kind of cultural impact as what A Different World had. And there's just not a lot of, people still wearing Hillman shirts and things like that. But it's not a situation where there's not really a show that kind of goes through and breaks down each episode and does like a rewind and a rewatch of it. And so that was the choice of it. I stalled on that when I started talking with Urban Edge about bringing in the quad to the network. And so what ended up happening was, quite frankly, I got busy. The show started coming together and, it's still a viable option because it's an evergreen type of podcast because it is focusing on the show that debuted 30 years ago. So I'm not completely done with the idea of doing the A Different World rewind rewatch show. And I got some great ideas for it. Like to be honest with you, I'm going to go ahead and put it out there because I'm going to text him about it to make sure he's watching this segment. Hardy, if you're watching this segment, please text me and let me know. But I am thinking that might be something to bring to HBCU Plus. Because what I would love to do with the A Different World rewatch is not just have myself on there, because I know y'all get tired of seeing my ugly mug 5 days a week, but I would actually love to bring on some of the, I would love to do it and have an episode that's got Kadeem Hardison or Dawn Lewis or Jasmine Guy, Sinbad, my goodness, Chanel Brown. I would just love, oh my gosh, Glenn Turman, legendary actor. I would love to have something like that where I have those guests that come in, and even the guests that were a part of it. Like I follow so many people. I really go down a rabbit hole with this. And there are some people that were on A Different World that y'all ain't even thinking of that I would have on that show. So I would love to do something like that here. Let me get through this season. I'm running 5 days a week on this, which would mean I would have to have one day where I do 2 podcasts a day, which I'm pretty sure Hardy wouldn't mind, but I want to make sure that my kids don't kill me in the process because they never see daddy unless he's on TV, that's not the case. I'm actually a really good father. But I appreciate that. And again, I know they're coming from IG, so shout out to you for that. Let's see what we got next. Is it gonna pop up? All right. Do all of you HBCU podcasters have the same group chat or something? No, I am not in any HBCU podcaster group chats. Apparently, those group chats are problematic as hell. Listen. I have. I'll be honest with you. I have a group chat with. I can't say that. I have a group chat with myself, an executive from the network, and a new host that's coming soon. That's the extent of, and that's all business, right? But and there are other people, like obviously there are people I text individually, but in terms of group chat, nah, man. Apparently these things be going crazy in the group chats. So so yeah, I stay out of the group chat melee. Listen, y'all, it's 43 after the hour. We're gonna take a commercial break. We'll be right back with the rest of our fam topics. Y'all are wild for that question. It's in the quad with Nick Eden.
From now on, it's all about us. Starting a family, buying a car, our first home.
They told you to open an account, then turned you away. They said, come back when you're ready. You said, we're ready now.
I know we're going to make it.
Hope makes it happen. Thousands of your neighbors, many who never had a bank account before, improved their lives with Hope Credit Union. You can too. Brighter futures begin with hope.
When I push, when I push, I feel good. When I pull, I feel good.
This is not just delivery. This is knowing even superheroes can use a sidekick. Walgreens.
Amazon fall favorites are here. Save on fashion, home, beauty, and more. Shop Amazon fall favorites now.
Hey, sweet new gear. It's like Best Buy hooked you guys up.
Pretty sick, right?
What is that?
That's our traveling trophy. Oh, that's what's up, man.
Ah, a goat for the goats. It's these pro-level setups.
Last year's trophy.
Not a goat.
Nope.
What if you could get all the latest and greatest gaming gear from one place?
Welcome back to In the Quad with Nick Eden, 45 after the hour, and we are right in the middle of our fam topics. Y'all, don't forget, if you want to get your questions onto fam topics, please just click the link tree of my bio on my socials, at Nick Eden on Twitter, at Nick Eden on IG, at Nick Eden on Fanbase. Submit your question. If it's appropriate, Uncle Samson gives it to go ahead. We will read it. All right, what we got next? Of course, it's acting up again. All right. What's the fastest way to get my podcast going? I love questions like this, and then I hate questions like this because I have no idea what your podcast is about. I'm assuming that it is HBC related because you're on the show. So if that's the case, I'll say this much. I think it's two ways that you can go about it. I think there is a general podcast where if you're talking about HBCU sports, you're covering everything, right? That gives you a chance to grab a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And you could be talking about multiple sports or multiple topics within it. That is something that I do. There's also a school-specific type of podcast that you could do, or a niche-specific podcast, I guess you could say, where you may be talking about your particular alma mater if you graduated from an HBCU. I will say this. If you're going for a niche-specific one, you might want to look around and look at the numbers. Okay? Look at the numbers, because there are some schools where the fan base is a lot more heavily engaged online. And because of that, it either A, may be crowded in that space, or it could be a great opportunity. So if I'll tell you right now, if I'm a Jackson State alum and I was starting from scratch, I would probably start a podcast talking about Jackson State. They have a very engaged online presence. If I'm a FAMU alum, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to talk specifically about FAMU. They have a very engaged online presence. That being said, there's a lot of space that's open. But maybe some of those schools, they don't have podcast specific, ones because either somebody hasn't gotten it or people just aren't as engaged, right? So if it is a situation where it's like, well, look, I want to do one about my school, I would then look at the ones who do podcasts about their schools. I would look at ONG Strike Zone. I would look at She Loves Thee. I would look at HBCU Overdrive. I would look at KC 1400, Tiger Talk, that whole coalition of it. I would look at those schools because those podcasts because they are specific to their schools. Now I will say some of them, they will veer off and they'll talk about other stuff, but primarily, you're going there and you're going to be, I don't want to call it propaganda, but for lack of a better term, propaganda. It's going to be heavily engaged with your fan base, which I think is a good thing. I think it's a great thing, actually. And there's a lot of space there. And then even From the Hill, I was just watching From the Hill last night. Shout out to them having Ruben Studdard on. They are fully ingrained with the school. I mean, the school got them on the digital billboards. Dr. Wims has come and talked there. They've had coaches, ADs. Like I said, they just had Ruben Studdard, who is an alumnus of A&M there. Like, they're really dialed into their school. Even though they'll go and they'll talk about other matchups throughout the week, it is about Alabama A&M. So I think that can be great. I think it is harder without a niche to do kind of a catch-all. For me, my catch-all was a calendar, which has now morphed into this. If you notice, I don't do a bunch of Alabama State stories because that's not what this is about. I try to remain as objective as possible. Liv is the same way. Liv for Hoops with her content. It's not just FAMU. She's covering men's basketball and women's basketball across the entire landscape. And so I do think that when you do it that way, you put yourself in position where you can make yourself kind of an expert in a space. But again, it just may be a little harder to break through, when you're doing something general, because there is a lot of content out there. But I would also say take advantage of the fact that, like, everybody's talking about football. I get it. Everybody's talking about football. Be the baseball person. Be the softball person. Be the volleyball person. Be the track and field person. Create a lane that is not currently there. Former athletes are great for this, especially those who know and understand this game at multiple levels. Be that person, because if you be that person, you become a trusted source within it. All right, hope that helps. All right, and our last fam topic. Of course, it's not coming up on my end. Got to look at YouTube. Do you think there will be a D2 coaches call next year? I gotta hope so. I'd love to hear their feedback. I talked about D2 at the beginning of this show. Y'all, folks are missing the mark. HBCU sports, HBCU game day, hell, HBCU plus, somebody need to be doing a D2 coaches call. My goodness. Because, again, the mark is being missed. And I would personally love to go in and hear how they break. Like, I absolutely love watching Coach Teddy Keaton's show on HBCU game day. I think it's phenomenal because it's always a good thing to peek into how his mind works, and you can see how it translates into success on the field. So yeah, I think there needs to be a D2 coaches call. I think there needs to be a HBCU coaches call, right? That covers everything, because if you're not, you're kind of missing the mark on great fan bases that are out there who want to be engaged, who want to participate in this thing that we call HBCU media. So yeah, that's it. Y'all, it's 52 after the hour. I'm going to do my last commercial break, and I'll be back with my final thoughts. It's in the quad with Nick Eden.
Technology Technology lets you monitor your pet when you're not at home. But to monitor threats to your hybrid workforce wherever they are, you need more than technology. You need CDW, who gets to know your business and can design and deploy custom solutions with pre-configured HP notebooks with HP Wolf Security. AI-enabled threat detection and remote management protect your endpoints 24/7, giving your defenses some real teeth.
Bummer.
HP makes always-on remote security possible. CDW makes it powerful.
Whether you call her Granny, Nana, my dear, she knows a treat makes any meal special. So come to McDonald's and treat yourself to the Grandma McFlurry today. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Time to call a credit repair company to fix my credit. Hold the phone, man. You can do it yourself with Credit Versio. That's way too hard. Call the credit repair company. Most credit repair companies only work on 1 or 2 accounts at a time, making it slow and expensive. You won't figure that out for months. Ignore him. Credit Versio's brilliant software scans all 3 credit bureaus, finds the accounts that are hurting your score, and guides you through the entire process. Anyone can do it. Let's fast forward and see the results. Wow, I fixed my own credit and saved hundreds. You can do this. Visit creditversio.com.
Amazon fall favorites are here. Save on fashion, home, beauty, and more. Shop Amazon fall favorites now.
When I push, I feel good. When I push, I feel good. When I pull, I feel good.
It's live. Welcome back to In the Quiet with Nick Eden. Y'all, final thoughts. Final thoughts, y'all. I say it every day. I mean it every day. Be safe. Be safe no matter where you are, whether it's an HBCU event or it's not. But I'm going to add something to that, y'all. I know we're still in the middle of football season. Everything's coming down to the next couple of weeks. But get yourself in the habit now. Go watch another game that's not football. And when I say go watch it, I mean go travel and see it. I don't care if you think it's going to be a bunch of people there. That one person and that one person multiplied by however many alums going and seeing and supporting those students can be the difference maker in their energy. Because people always say, well, nothing brings a crowd like winning. Well, nothing helps winning like an active crowd. You ask anybody that's gone to, places where it's, it's hostile. It's like, look, man, I'm walking into Grambling. We're walking into the hole. Boy, it's crazy in here. We're walking into the Bluff, man. It's crazy here. We're walking into the vet. It's crazy here. I'm telling you, go, and it's a lot of sports that's going on right now. You'd be surprised of what your game day experience will be like if you went to see something besides football. So, and even if you can't make it, buy a ticket and gift it to someone. Let's be recruiters for our universities. Let's, buy, because let's be real. The tickets are going to be lower at some of these games that are not the revenue monsters that football is. So if you can afford it, hey, buy 2 tickets and give it to somebody in the local area. You never know. That may be that kid's first time going to an HBCU game of any kind, and that may lead to that kid going to your alma mater. Or if you're not in a place where your alma mater, a local school. I tell people all the time, adopt an HBCU. But show that support some kind of way. If you can't be there, send somebody else that can go. I look at Orange Blossom Classic. Now, I went down to OBC to cover it. That was the first episode of In the Quiet with Nick Eden. But I also had 2 tickets to OBC. And I reached out just to see, hey, does anybody need these tickets? Does anybody need these tickets? And it just so happens that my sister, she called me and she was like, hey, my friend from college lives, and it's crazy because I have not seen this dude since I was a kid. And I got a hilarious picture that I'm probably going to wait like a year or so to show, but it's for a different reason. But, she was like, he's down there and, he'd like the ticket. So I give him a call. I'm like, man, it's been forever. And he's like, yeah, man, it's been forever. I want to bring my niece. She's never been to an HBCU game before. And this guy is a graduate of Clark Atlanta University, proud HBCU alum. I don't even think he really just knew about Florida Memorial like that. But, he's texting throughout the game and he's like, man, she's having such a great time. She's dialed in. She wants an Alabama State shirt. Can you get her Alabama State shirt? Absolutely. Now, whether this child goes to Alabama State, North Carolina Central, Florida Memorial, or wherever, at least the seed has been planted, and it's planted at an early age. One thing that I give Jackson State a ton of credit for, and I'm pretty sure this is like this for other. I'm pretty sure if you talk to somebody like Josh with HBCU Nightly, he'll tell you it's the same thing for Central. But growing up in Mississippi, look, man, you are ingrained. Jackson State is ingrained in these kids' minds from a very early age. Alcorn is the same way. You never know what planting that seed for them can be. So, and it could start with that first game, that first basketball game, or that first baseball or softball game. Like I'm going to be taking a big group of kids to the SWAC softball tournament in the spring. That's from here. Some of them, they've never seen a college sport other than the community colleges here on the Gulf Coast. You never know what happens when you expose them to that. So just keep that in mind. I appreciate you all, and I will see you same time, same place